Hello, Mr. Ross. Can you hear me? You're muted now. Okay,
Hi
perfect.
everyone.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi Ahmed. Hi everyone. I'm glad to be here. Sorry, well, apologies for being slightly late. There was a bit of a technical issue. Really excited to be here virtually. Unfortunately, I can't be there in person. And I know that I'll be actually in Egypt a week later. My baby decided to come a week earlier. So yeah, really excited to be here and to present to you a Genu and Yoma solution, which I'll be talking more about today. Ahmed, if you could just let me know when you are able to see my screen, that would be great.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ross, I didn't hear your questions.
I'm looking forward to giving you insight to Yoma and Goodwall, a Generation Unlimited solution. We partner closely with UNICEF, and really we exist to try and connect youth to learning and earning opportunities. So just to give you a little bit of an insight into today's presentation, what we'll be going through more specifically is an introduction to Yoma, Yoma and Goodwall as a platform, and a little bit of insights into some of the joint programs we are doing today. So to dive straight into an introduction, we all are well aware of the current opportunity and challenges that face us today. We expect over 1 billion youth to enter the workforce by 2030. We know that 27% of youth in Egypt are currently not in formal education, employment, or training, and only 12% of youth are participating in vocational training, with 90% of those being under the age of 29. So by 2035, we're all aware that the number of Africans entering the job market, more specifically, and in the MENA region too, is a significant number. Biggest challenges that currently arise are the mismatch between skills they acquire and the in-demand jobs. Limited access to quality and flexible learning pathways is a huge challenge that we all face today. And there's also a fairly significant gap in digital tools and infrastructure which youth are able to access. So really, that brings us to the Yoma solution. Yoma was designed for youth, by youth. It is a user-centric mobile technology platform which enables youth in Africa to essentially transform their futures by engaging opportunities, by learning, earning, and making an impact. And essentially, Yoma is an ecosystem of partnerships which helps youth connect to meaningful opportunities, both online and offline. Yoma today currently has over 600,000 users in Africa, more specifically, over 70 partners, and is present in more than 10 countries. Some of our strategic partners include Generation Unlimited, UNICEF, the likes of R Labs, GIZ, etc. And I think just quickly moving forward, a strong partnerships ecosystem is obviously key to what we do at Yoma, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a few minutes. I think just in terms of Yoma and connecting youth to opportunity at scale, we know that technology is not the only answer. It is really about how we leverage partnerships and technology and ensure that we do not duplicate existing efforts in the market. So I think a key thing that is coming up and continues to arise is that there are so many of similar solutions that are trying to enter into the market, and it's more how we're able to connect these opportunities and youth to these solutions instead of duplicating efforts. Critically, we are able to provide both financial and non-financial incentivization via an embedded digital token and marketplace. We also do adopt a hybrid approach which allows for integrated online and offline action. And then really sustainability through innovative business model is a core sort of value of ours. And we are fortunate enough to have co-investment from leading partners and obviously sharing of resources. Ultimately, ensuring it is scalable and it transferable across market is a key lever of ours, and it is now being shown within the MENA region more recently. I think just to hone in on some of our priorities, leveraging youth as agents of change to achieve impacts in their communities or environment is critically important. So we do adopt a youth for youth model. Most of our educational content, training and promotion are opportunities that are offered to youth within the market. Accelerating learning pathways with a focus on employability and work transitions is a key priority. And then leveraging a conducive partnership ecosystem through innovative technology also stands as one of the key priorities. Focusing on Yoma and its primary technology app platform, Goodwall, an introduction quickly to this really focuses on a community connecting youth to opportunity. So to date, we've launched over 70 digital programs. We've reached over 60 million youth, and we have 2.5 million youth engagements with over 300,000 active users in Africa. Importantly, we've got over 2.5 million active members aged 16 to 26 currently globally, and we managed to reach over 90 million youth through our programming in 2023. So Goodwall is the platform which powers Yoma from an app perspective. And essentially, we exist to empower the next generation of talent to maximize their potential whilst making a positive impact on society. If we look at what the platform stands for and how it currently looks, essentially it's optimized to provide youth with the opportunity to showcase their skills via a unique profile. So what we know today is that most youth that are entering the job market or even formal education or trying to access formal education don't have a CV to showcase. So Goodwall is optimized to showcase a skills profile and help youth enhance their skills. It is backed by a supportive community. So each member is able to access a network based on shared interests via the likes of group chats. They're able to support each other's accomplishments. And from an algorithmic perspective, it allows for youth to be suggested to connect to additional youth that are interested in same topics and essentially share their knowledge. From an opportunity perspective, we partner closely with our ecosystem of partners to connect youth to additional learning and earning opportunities. And this ranges across courses, scholarships, internships, volunteering, and local and international job opportunities. And then core to the platform are signature programs. And this really allows participants to grow skills and participate in experiential learning opportunities in a way that's relevant to them. So I think really important to note that all programs are highly localized and contextualized based on the market we're serving, and are co-created together with our partners. If we look more at the sort of core pillars of programming today and what Yomas are trying to achieve through the Goodwall platform, the first is skilling and jobs. So really, how are we able to provide youth with accessible skilling, access to jobs, but more importantly, that are relevant to the market that they are in. So this is geolocalized youth in Egypt, as an example, would see something completely different to a young person in Nigeria or South Africa based on the programs that are available within their region, but then are still able to access more globalized programs depending on what is currently running through the platform. There's a strong focus on entrepreneurship. So we are currently building out our micro VC pathway within the app, and youth are able to be funded on a milestone basis based on completion of certain activities. Impact actions is another core component of the platform. And really what we are striving to achieve here is to allow youth to essentially access livelihoods via completing impact actions. So this is very much in its pilot phase, but a really interesting take on how youth can create impact, learn skills, learn about a certain thematic, whilst creating a positive difference to the world and being rewarded and remunerated for it. On the leadership front, critically important and a core pillar within our platform. This really provides youth the platform to, one, share their voices, but two, access various leadership-orientated programming within the platform and its partner ecosystem. And this just shows an example of a Change Makers program, which was put together with the Vise Academy of Nature. And this was specific to a Kenya cohort in this particular example. So really, I think if we just look at how we're able to streamline engagement across our ecosystem of partners, one, we do adopt a ecosystem approach which is able to really join initiatives quite seamlessly. So we essentially see the youth journey across various specialists within the various thematics, but also various opportunity providers that are right for the young person based on their stage within their learning journey. So essentially, the platform itself looks to create meaningful pathways for youth. From an integration perspective, youth that have the Yoma ID are able to single sign-on to the Goodwill platform, but we are also doing single sign-on integrations across other ecosystem partners to ensure that youth are able to easily access. From a branding perspective, as I mentioned, it's geo-localized. So depending on where young people access the application and platform, they see relevant, localized, contextual opportunities. And then further to that, we are highly focused on ensuring that co-creation and localization when it comes to programming is tailored based on market needs. So I think just at a high level, really what youth are able to access through the platform itself are skills development, practice active citizenship. There's also the prizes, rewards, and opportunities based on the relevant learning, and then peer-to-peer recognition and networking. A big element within the platform and a focus at the moment is also around job readiness and soft skills, and there are a number of programs that are honed into that area. And then obviously, due to the platform's capabilities in analytics and the way youth continue to build themselves on the platform, we are able to track a young person's journey to skilling, reaching learning opportunities and earning opportunities. From an experiential learning perspective, this is also a key component of how we do things. And what we've realized today is that many youth access learning opportunities, but don't get the opportunity to actually practice by doing. So a number of the programming that is available really emphasizes on an experiential learning pathway. And this can vary from pitching your business idea, as an example, to microtasking, to creativity challenges, to using or completing a potential program and feeding back on it. And essentially the way in which our programs are structured is we able to reach youth in a way that is engaging to the young person today. So that includes through local influencers and local content creators that resonate with the young person we're trying to reach. They then engage on a learning pathway and experiential learning challenges, and then are connected to a lifelong community and are provided with relevant learning and earning opportunities within the wider ecosystem. Depending on the pathway approach, we also curate pathways based on certain thematics and focus areas. And I'll show some of that in the case studies later on. From an experiential learning perspective, as I mentioned, it ranges from curated bite-sized content through to more interactive challenges, and then a connection to deep dive learning. So this just really shows an approach to scalable pathways into the likes of jobs and entrepreneurship. And essentially, it starts really with inspiring and upskilling youth. So that's really the first step of the platform, and that's being able to really engage youth in a way that is meaningful to them, but also resonates with the young person, and gauges interest in a specific thematic or topical area. Youth are then mobilized through the app and motivated to take actions through gigs and micro seed funding. And then essentially engage in deeper learning to earning pathways. And this is where, through our ecosystem of partners and tracking via the platform, we're able to guide youth to various learning and earning opportunities, but still bring them back in to the platform to share their stories, share their progress, and update their profile. So this, for example, on an entrepreneurship level, would allow youth to gain access to our ecosystem of partners, various incubators based on what they're pursuing, and access further funding. Importantly, the next step within a young person's journey is really to be able to allow them to become a role model within their community and amongst their peers, and amplify their stories and insights. So in the elevation side, post-programming is critically important. I think just to touch on some of the joint programs that we've done over the last year, just to highlight some of them. An example is a national ecopreneurship program we did in Rwanda. This is now entering a scale-up phase. That was a public-private partnership between UNICEF, Generation Unlimited, UNDP. The Rwandan Youth Ministry was also a strong supporter in this. And really, it was about building entrepreneurial skills and a pathway into entrepreneurship to fund green business ideas. In this particular pilot program, we managed to reach over 1 million youth, have 70,000 youth engaged with the program specifically, and we funded just over 50 entrepreneurs. Green Rising is a program we are delivering through the platform together with SAP, Accenture, UNICEF, and Generation Unlimited. So this is the online version, which allows for youth to essentially access green action programming, mobilizing youth to take action against climate change, green skills to jobs. So really focusing on developing skills for the green economy and accessing relevant opportunities within the green economy, and then ecopreneurship component as well as a youth voices component. In doing so, we've also looked at how we're able to access and provide more underrepresented youth with opportunity, pilot program, which we're now looking to scale in Nigeria and Zimbabwe, more specifically, is our Fair Chance program. And this initiative specifically focuses on upskilling youth and providing marginalized youth access to soft skills and employment opportunities with national employers. So a small pilot has been launched on this front, but it's really about equipping talent with market relevant skills and then allowing for youth to access national employers and have national employers view youth through a non-traditional means. So instead of a standard CV, access a 1-minute video on the young person demonstrating their capabilities for an entry-level job, as an example. So we're looking to scale this particular initiative up. We're looking to do an initiative with displaced youth, more specifically, and are currently investigating various potential opportunities here. Another really exciting initiative which YOMA is driving is the SAP Educate to Employ, and that specifically focuses on a digital skills pathway for youth. So really focusing on upskilling marginalized youth to meet the diverse and evolving needs of various employers, and specifically focusing on an SAP pathway. So this really uses micro-credentialized courses, which are essential for employment within the SAP ecosystem. And Umuzi and the African Coding Network have done an incredible job in supporting young learners from Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa, the Philippines, and Germany to complete this program. And they've had over 15,000 youth apply. The courses are also really in depth and have to date, I believe, had over 240,000 learning hours and created over 110 jobs upon passing. So really an example of a digitized program that has enabled youth to embark on a pathway to jobs, but focus specifically within the SAP ecosystem. More generally, we're also looking to see how we're able to provide more scalable programming together with key core partners and ensure that youth are not left behind. A core component of this, and an example of one of many programs which we're starting, includes a partnership with Microsoft, whereby we're trying to equip the next generation with AI skills. And really, this is about demystifying and exciting the next generation, but encouraging and upskilling youth to utilize AI in a responsible manner, and really ensure that no young person is left behind. We know we're at a critical juncture whereby it could accentuate the gap or allow for youth to gain access to additional opportunity. And this is an example of an entry-level programming which will allow youth to gain access to AI fluency at scale. So this is currently being piloted through the YOMA platform, and we are looking to embark on this programming in the MENA region over the next year, more specifically. If we look at other concepts more specific to just an example initiative that we are looking to engage in with UNDP and NL, and we're looking at a number of different green pathway specific initiatives. So this is really about bridging the gap to skills for the green marketplace, as well as accelerating green business through financing. So a key area for us at the moment is looking at how we're able to really accelerate youth on a pathway and towards the just energy transition. So So looking at various different pathways within the just energy transition specific to market demands within relevant countries, and enabling a pathway for youth to access both additional programming, but open further doors to education, entrepreneurship, and career advancement, more specific in that space. So I'm aware the online presentation might have been quite difficult to follow. I wish I could have been there in person with you. I know we do have some representatives in person that would be able to help and answer specific questions that the audience may have. Really looking forward to engaging further. You're also more than welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I think Ahmed and Wiam would be able to share my contact details. But really keen on engaging further. And we see Egypt and the MENA region to be an extremely exciting prospect for youth, with much development and growth to come in the next few years. So a really key interest area for us, and looking forward to engaging further. Apologies if it has been quite difficult to hear me. I'm aware Ahmed has done a lot, and thanks so much for allowing me to participate online.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. That was very insightful presentation.
Thank you, Ahmed, for organizing.
Thank you.